Welcome to episode 33 of today's Candor. I'm your host, Barika. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to tune in. In this episode, I'm discussing the importance of removing anything and anyone who isn't serving your purpose or your peace. If you haven't already tuned into my latest reel on Instagram and TikTok, it was just some insight as to what this topic was going to be about this week's episode, and share that with anyone who you think needs to hear a word. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. So, why is this so important? What is so important about removing anyone or anything who is not serving your purpose or your peace? It's important for so many reasons. And we could just start off with listing some of the very surface reasons, of course, right? One, because you could have toxic people around you. You could have people who are jealous of you or just trying to knock you off of your focus. But it's much deeper than that. Those things matter too, of course, but it's much deeper than those things. You have to remove things and people from your life that isn't serving your purpose and peace, because they're so much interconnected. Your purpose and peace is so much interconnected, and people don't think so. But when you really think about it, when you are really walking in your purpose, when you're really serving, your purpose and figuring that out, and you're really in it and you're aligned with it, you're also aligning yourself with the universe. And in turn, they're just this different type of peace comes over you. It really does. And it's very freeing. It's very freeing when you figure out what your purpose is, but then it becomes even more freeing when you start to walk in that. And it's very difficult to walk in your purpose when you have things or people blocking you from that. One, because you can't really see, you have no vision of what you should be doing, where you're going, your goals might be foggy, and there's really no alignment. And you can tell because, like, your gut will be off. Your spirit will be off. You won't feel aligned. You won't be at peace. When you start to move in a way that you know what you are going for and moving towards, you finally start to accept, when you really know it, not even you're trying to figure it out, but when you really know it, you start to accept what needs to stay in your world and what needs to be removed. Who needs to stay in your world and who needs to be removed. You figure this out, you accept it, and you start to make some real decisions. And sometimes it's not always about cutting off someone 110%, because it may not necessarily be that someone is bad for you. And this could be, you all always hear me speak about, this could be any type of relationship, whether it's your significant other, or it's a friendship, it's family member. It might not be that the person is a bad person. It's just that they aren't doing anything, and they aren't giving you anything for what you need in order to keep moving forward, to keep accomplishing your goals, for you to really walk in your purpose. And sometimes it's just, you have to not have the same connection with this person. So it's not necessarily about always cutting someone off. It may be, hey, I can't have the same type of connection with you. I can't have the same type of bond with you, because we don't see things the same. And you have to be okay with doing that, because when you aren't okay with doing that, you keep whoever around you. And that's just not how this works. And when you're doing those type of things, when you're not capable or willing, because sometimes it's that you might be very capable, but you're not willing to make those decisions. But if you're not capable or willing, or a combination thereof, to remove certain things or people from your life, you're communicating with the universe that you aren't ready for whatever it is that you are trying to achieve. You are communicating with the universe that you are not ready for the next level. You're communicating with the universe that you talk a good game, but that you really can't back up what you're saying. And all that is, you're just showing the universe. When you're showing the universe and communicating with the universe that you are not ready, you are not in alignment with your purpose. You're not in alignment with the universe. You can't fake out. You can't trick the universe into thinking you're ready. That's not how it works. So if you are, just an example, if you are saying that you want a new job, you're seeking a new job, you're job hunting, you're on the grind doing this, you've made that a second job. You've made job hunting your second job because you're like, all right, I need something else. And for whatever reasons that they may be. And if you are saying you want the job, you need a job because you need it to pay you more, or it may be that it might be like personality clashes. It might be whatever is going on. If you know why you're looking for the job, but then you're still seeking and applying for jobs that aren't in alignment with what you said you want in the new opportunity, what are you really telling the universe? What are you really telling the universe? You, in your mind, might know what you want. You might have even shared with whoever what type of job you're looking for and the reasons you're leaving the current job. But if you're out here just applying to any and everything willy-nilly because you are trying that badly to get out of the current space, it's not adding up. And so you're really telling the universe, I'm not ready. I don't know what I want. And when you tell the universe you don't know what you want, but you try to put on this facade like you do, it's not going to work. If there are certain qualities that you want in a partner, and you say these are the things I'm looking for, these qualities, these characteristics, I want these things in a person, but you're entertaining any and everything that's trying to be in your world and be on your line, and you don't know how to say no, you're telling the universe that you'll accept any and everything in a person. So when you're not standing 10 toes down about what it is that you are seeking, you're telling the universe, I don't know what I want. And when you don't know what you want, the universe is saying, you are not the version that you need to be. You are not the version of the person that I need you to be in order for me to move you into this next level, this next realm, for you to level up. And I think so many of us have either heard or read somewhere that until you are the version of the person that you are supposed to be in order to get to that next step in whatever it may be, your career, school, a certain job, or maybe a certain title you're trying to hold. If you don't possess those qualities already, the universe knows that. So being able to know your purpose, walk in it, and remove anything and anyone, you have to be able to do that. You are holding yourself back. You are holding your life back and all the great things that could come of it when you keep anything and anyone around you. It's not possible to move forward when you are telling the universe that you don't know what you want. There is no alignment. And you know when you're aligned because things will start to open up for you. It's almost like a flip of the switch. And not to make it sound so easy per se, but when you start to realize who you are, what you're here for, and you become confident in yourself, you start to say, okay, this is what I'm meant to do. I know whose company I need to be in. I know who should be in my company. I know what I should allow, what I shouldn't allow, what I should tolerate and not. You start to also set your boundaries and you actually abide by them instead of setting these boundaries and not being able to hold on to them for more than 48 hours. So When I say that your purpose and your peace are interconnected, it's because you will find some peace in serving and walking in your purpose. You find that peace. Anything and anyone who disrupts your peace, you won't be able to really move along in your purpose. These things, they are all intertwined. When you're able to sit back and say, this relationship isn't for me, I need to make a decision. This job isn't for me, I need to make a decision. This person who claims they're my friend, they're not for me, I need to make a decision. It's not about being drastic or making emotional decisions. It's about really taking some time to say, I've seen how so-and-so has operated or moved for whatever amount of time that you think is good enough to say, okay, I need to make this choice now. A couple of months, sometimes longer. Sometimes it's going to take you some time to piece these things together. But when you start to sit back and say, I can tell what is holding me back. And essentially, it is you holding you back, but you can tell what's contributing to holding you back from really leveling up, from really elevating, from really going to that next level. And that's why I said, when you do figure this out and when you start to actually accept it and walk in it, the reason I said it's freeing is because you really start to feel lighter. Before, you feel heavy. It's like you're just kind of here. You're just cruising through life every day. But once you start to make some decisions and start putting yourself first and saying, I know what's not serving me, I know what's not good for me. And when you reevaluate and you're able to tell yourself that you are out of alignment, because it takes a real person to do that. It takes a real person to look themselves in the mirror or to have just a conversation with themselves and say, hey, you're not in alignment. You're not in alignment with the universe. You're not walking in your purpose. And you're holding yourself back. When you can sit and say that to yourself, because it's so easy to criticize everybody else. But when you can sit and do that with yourself, when you can write down why you're out of alignment, how you got there, nobody can tell you anything about yourself because you have realized, one, to know that you're out of alignment, you are now understanding your flaws. You're understanding your flaws. You're understanding what you need to work on. If there are people that need to be removed, you're realizing this and you're saying, I need to accept this. And when you are out of alignment, you're not walking in your purpose. There's no way you could be. The two just don't go together. It's like oil and water. And once you start to work through this process, once you start to grow through this process, you also find yourself coming into just like a new you. Like how when we become teenagers, it's that whole coming of age thing. But now when you start to really say, I have to make some changes, there are some people who need to be removed, or at least you have to fall back from somewhat. There are some things that need to be removed, whether it's bad habits, whether it's flaws you need to, some things that you need to work on, some things you need to improve, whether it's growing, maturing in it, whatever the case may be. But it also allows you feel lighter because you feel better. You start to really sit back and say, although I knew what and who might have been holding me back, you're able to admit that you were making these decisions that were holding you back. You're able to it's not about blaming, but you're able to hold yourself accountable instead of trying to blame someone or something else. You're able to hold yourself accountable when you know that you haven't been walking in your purpose. You're able to hold yourself accountable when you know that you are responsible for not having peace in your world. You're able to hold yourself accountable when you know that you have been putting everyone else first and you've been on the back burner. You hold yourself accountable when you're willing to make the change. You don't hold yourself accountable when you want to point the finger play the blame game, and act like you have no doing in any of this. Get to a place where, if you haven't already, get to a place where you're able to really look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not where I should be. Look yourself in the mirror, be able to, or write it down and say, what am I doing that is holding me back? Who am I hanging around? Who am I giving my time and attention to, my energy, my effort? What am I doing that I feel stuck and that I feel like I'm not walking in my purpose, that I feel like there is no alignment? And you have people sometimes that are saying it's too much like happening at once in their world. But being able to put things in perspective and really being able to sit down and see also, and being able to differentiate what's in your control, what's out of your control, because life is going to throw its obstacles regardless. You could have it all together, well planned out. Life is going to throw its obstacles regardless. But if you know there are things that you have control over, like who you spend your time with, and you know this person or these people aren't the best for you, they're not helping you walk in your purpose. They're not helping to bring any peace to your life. But you continue to hang around them and you continue to entertain them, you can be mad at no one but yourself. Hold yourself accountable. If you're at a job that you don't like, whether it's because of the actual job itself, whether it's because of the people, your supervisor, other people on your team, other people in a different department, people are going to be people and you can't change the world. But what you can do is change your situation. But if you need a new job and you're not job hunting, you're not holding yourself accountable. If you want to start a business because you feel like that's what you should be doing, you know your purpose, you have everything kind of mapped out, but you won't take the first step, you won't take that risk, you won't take that leap, no one else is to blame because you aren't walking in your purpose, and therefore you're not bringing yourself the peace. Life will always throw its obstacles. It doesn't mean that you are going to have It doesn't mean that when you try to make your best plans that you never will go through anything. But when I say walking in your purpose and really getting rid of anything and anyone who isn't serving your purpose and your peace, when I say removing these things and people, these factors, if you will, removing these factors from your world, when I say you must do away with it, because the longer you hold on to it, the worse that situation becomes. The harder it is to let go of something when you're finally ready to make that decision. And when you sit back and say, what is it that I need to do in order for me to move forward? And when you really accept that, you'll know when you're ready to do it because you aren't worried about whose feelings it might hurt. You get to a point where you are done considering everything and everybody else. So when you're working through it, you're being smart about the decision, but you're worried about how it will impact you positively and adversely. Instead of trying to figure out everything and everybody, no. Figure out how is it going to work for you. And once again, that's with anything. You can apply that to anything, whether like it's the job move, a relationship, a friend, a family member. Free yourself from the anxiety. Free yourself from the stress. Free yourself from the headaches. But if you're not willing to make the first move, if you're not willing to maybe deal with the short-term pain, you're going to deal with long-term pain. It's inevitable. If you're not willing to say, I'm done with this, whatever this is to you, and you keep sitting in that, there's nothing anyone can do for you. If you're not bringing yourself peace, no one else can. It does not matter. If you are not able to bring yourself peace, it doesn't matter. Walk in your purpose. Bring yourself the peace. Be aligned so that you can walk in your purpose. Really walk in it. Really serve your purpose while you are here. While you're here. Don't try to control what you can't control. Don't try to be in alignment with everyone else. You need to sometimes just do you and be comfortable with doing you. without anyone clapping for you, without anyone's approval, without anyone's validation. Be able to walk in your purpose. So I'm going to leave it there for you all. Thank you as always for tuning in. And I will see you all in the next reel. And in the meantime, stay safe and stay candid.